I am Elisabeth Perrault. I live in Montreal. I'm a French Canadian. I mainly work with sculpture installation. I work with textile fibers to create my sculpture. Newly, I start to draw. I also sometimes do some video with stop motion animation techniques. But yeah, my main focus in my practice is really centralized on textile sculpture. For me, a textile is really related with my maternal family story, in the sense that this is my grandmother would teach me how to sew when I was younger, and also my mother. When I was younger, I was sewing with her, repairing family clothes together. So of course, like subject in link with women's inspire me a lot. My inspiration comes from of diversified sources. Sometimes I start from a personal story, something that I personally live, go through, or sometimes I get my inspiration from particular sources. As my last project, Dancing with Our Ghost, which start the starting point was about a sculpture from the 18th century called The Anatomical Venus. Yeah, it's really hard to say which is my biggest influence. I think my first biggest influence would be my the woman in my family who would teach me how to sew. But for the style and everything, when I was younger, I was really a fan. I still a fan of Tim Burton aesthetic in his movie, but more in his animation movie. Also, like I get influenced almost like by every kind of art. Like when I go in a museum and I see like Renaissance paintings, the techniques that I find in those paintings, so that's really amazed me, and yeah, of course that influenced me. But not only like Renaissance, like all the stuff that I can find in the museum can find a way to influence my work. I think everything influenced me, like music, good stories, discussions. Sometimes, like a banal discussion can make me think about an object that I can create about it, subjects, ideas. Now I try to do new collaboration. I already like collaborate with musicians in the past, with other visual artists also. So I don't know. I'm thinking like to include movement in my sculptures, so all I can do that with I don't know, like dancer, professional dancer could be really great. So I'm trying to developing some aspect of that idea. I also want to push more my drawings and maybe to create an animation with those drawings. Um, And for what is more my sculpture work, I'm currently thinking about a new project. It's really like I cannot talk about it too that much, but I really want to create something immersive and use more organic material mixed with textile and everything. So maybe thinking to use plants, make grow plants, and use earth, mud and everything with textile, and to propose an idea for gallery space. Yeah, and usually when I work in the studio, that is almost like 5 day by weeks. Um, First, I really prefer to go during the night. I realize when it's sunny outside, I cannot go in my studio. But yeah, and I always work with the music. I have like a playlist that I listen every day. That I had some songs every week. but it's mostly the same. And when I work, I really enjoy to discover new albums. Um, and it's always better when this is new, good albums. Yeah, for me it's like a time, but I also I also love to listen audiobook when I'm creating stuff in my studio. For me it's like, I don't know, a mix of everything: music, audiobook, help me to pass through my work and help me to pass more time in my studio alone. I also love to listen to movie, but not complex one, because I cannot focus my eyes on it. So yeah. What is the best reaction that someone has had to my work? It's really hard to tell. Every reaction is good for me. I'm always surprised by those reactions and the interpretation of the people. What I love the most is to, when I create, I love the idea that when I show the sculpture in the public space is no more mine. So every interpretation can be good and right depending of the viewer. So I really love to listen to those interpretations that is really different from my purpose. And also it's like this that we can create a diversify conversation about something. It's a little bit weird, but when people tell me that they cry when they saw like my work, that's really happen rarely, like not happen often. But I don't know, the first time that someone told me that, I never expect that someone gonna cry in front of my sculpture. So it's something surprised me and touched me, because cry is always like the hardest, but I think the strongest emotion that someone can show you. This is very physical, so yeah, that me surprised me, and yeah. So it's almost that. I hope that I answer pretty much every question. Maybe I can go back a little bit on my work, how I describe it. Like through my sculpture installation, I really love to create surrealistic scenes to offer that to the people. Like always, I love the idea to create a scene on pause that the viewer can just enter in, has like the, I don't know, the play is like timeout, and you just enter in a narration that just gets stopped. I don't know if this look logical, but yeah. I love the idea to use narration in my work, to create a narration without times in a surrealistic place. Yeah. So I think it's pretty much what I have to say about my work. If you have any other question, you can send it to me. I'm really happy, and thank you so much.